started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Page of Swords podcast. I'm welcoming back Cheryl, and she is a returning guest on my podcast. So if you guys want to check out the podcast we did where she kind of explains a lot of her history, we might go and touch a little bit of that today, but I know we got a lot of future plans to talk about. So that is episode 42. I'll put the link in the show notes for you guys. But again, I am excited to have Cheryl back. She's been busy. So Cheryl, thanks for coming back.
I appreciate it. Yes, I've been extremely busy in my personal life. Things are going very well. Career-wise, a lot of advancements and different things like that. So I've been very busy there, and also with the bodybuilding as well. Since my last show, I've made some changes. I changed teams. And I also actually changed the division that I will be competing in, which I'm very excited about. So I love women's physique dearly, but in my heart, I've always wanted to do women's bodybuilding. So I'm going to try that this year. Ever since I was about 19, when I first got my illness, they said, you're not going to be able to really do bodybuilding. Your life's going to be, it's not going to work out. So over the years, I kept trying. And what's really strange is in the past couple of years, my body has just taken off. Even though my disease has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse, I've just been able, excuse my language, to kick ass and keep going. And it's just been phenomenal. And I really believe that everyone out there is going to be so amazed at the package that I bring to stage. I am even shocked at how well I'm doing. And it's not like a bragging thing. I'm just excited because when you've had a chronic illness for so long and your body's not responding and you're having to do things so differently, that to see it come to life and do something you've always wanted to do for many, not years, decades, and you're going to do it, it's just so excited. I'm like, yes, I get to do this. And I just can't wait to show everybody.
Yeah, I am so excited for you. First of all, because I think it's really cool that you have all of this going on. Plus, you have a full-time job. You're still you were at a technology company, right? Like IT and stuff.
Yes, I'm still doing it, and it's even getting crazier these days because you've heard a lot about cybersecurity, threats and all that kind of stuff. It really hits home at every company in the IT field. So even though you hear about it, if you're not in IT, you hear about it, you're like, all right, I run some virus software and this. But when you're working in it, it is so serious. You have to be so dedicated and so on top of things that the drop of a hat, things can change instantly. And that's the kind of field that I'm in. So I love it, but it is very stressful and it's been very demanding lately, especially with what's going overseas. All companies have to be extra cautious and take extra measures to protect yourselves. So that's why I've been extremely busy.
Oh, I believe you. Are you learning as you go too? I'm sure things are always evolving too. Are you constantly having to teach yourself things too in this industry?
Definitely. In the medical field, you get your degree, and I'm not to put anything against doctors and all that, but you're not constantly learning. You learn a specialty, you get into that field, and that's it. In the IT field, if you're not constantly learning every 18 months, you're behind the game. You're old technology, you're old school. People don't want you. So while you're working, you've got to figure out, how do I learn the new things and keep up to date? And that's always a constant challenge in our field. 100%.
Yeah, I wanted to just bring that up because I work as a graphic designer, which is not like what you do, but it's still working with technology and programs. And I know that being a bodybuilder, you got the gym, you're on this regiment. And then on top of that, you're kind of you're not going to school, but you're schooling yourself while you're busy at work. And that's a lot to juggle with what you do too.
It definitely is. One of the things with cybersecurity is they call 0-day threats. So people go, how do you protect yourself from that? And I can't really dive into a lot of it. But a 0-day threat is something you've never experienced, no one knows about, but it hits you. And how do you protect yourself? So that in itself is very challenging, and you just got to figure things out. So yes, we're always thinking and finding creative ways to do things. And in a way, it challenges me for bodybuilding, because with my condition and things don't work the way, I wouldn't say normal people, but most people, I have to find ways to make things work. And so my analytical mind is always moving and going, and I put that into the gym life,
Yeah.
which I love. Like my condition is an ileostomy, which is part of my intestines is actually on my abs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my intestine actually comes out onto my ab.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that when you're doing abs next time. How challenging is that? So you're trying to do a crunch, and then you got your intestine there, and you're like, all right, I don't want to mess up my intestines, but yet I want that. Well, I can only say 5-pack because one of my abs is gone. I want that 5-pack, or 5-pack. I can't even count it Sunday. 5-pack on stage. So how do I juggle that? And it's a very fine line, but I will get it there. I promise everyone, I will have that.
I've seen your videos, and I love that you're bringing this up too, because in figure, you don't have to have strong ab core, but you need to have some. And I tell girls all the time, work your abs, right? Like you going in the female bodybuilding and everything, like you better have the 5-pack for you. You know what I mean? But like
exactly.
Some girls, I'm like, I know they say sometimes it's genetic, but I still think like you should have something there. I see a lot of flat.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. There are genetics, everything, there's genetics in everything. But if you really want it, you've got to figure out a way to work around it. Like for me, my abs are not genetic. They are definitely not genetic. It's a lot of work. But like, because my lower half I have to be very careful about with abs, I'll do crunches, but very little. So people look at me in the gym and go, I can only imagine they're thinking, that looks stupid. It really doesn't look like it's effective. But for me, it is. I know it works for me. And if I have to do 1,000 little crunches to your 10 crunches, I'm going to do it because that's what's going to take me to get to that next level. So when people say I have a lagging body part or this isn't working, you really got to figure out a way to make that work for you instead of making it an excuse. And that's what irritates me when I hear people say that. It's like, oh, well, my back just doesn't grow. Oh, well, that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Do something different because eventually you'll find out. But it's that desire.
It is. It's like if you're doing something and you're like, my back's not growing, well, then maybe what you're doing isn't right. And like you said, like you found what worked for you. You're just going to have to try something else, and that's all. It's your discipline and your goals. And you're like, I'm not going to give up and I will find a way.
And one thing I want to add also is there's a lot of great coaches out there, and I'm not here to bash coaches, okay? But if something's not working for you and your coach gives you a plan and it's, again, not working, it's nothing against the coach, but again, it's your body. Your coach can't feel what you're feeling. They can only do the best that they can, but you have to stand up and say, I've done this for 3 months or whatever it is. It's not working for me. Figure something else out. I'm not saying leave your coach or anything like that, but work with your coach and try to find different ways. Because if you're not open with your coach and you're still doing the same old thing, well, maybe it's time to speak up and say, I've tried this. Let's try some variation or something, because ultimately it's your body. You're the one on stage, not your coach. You're on stage. So you need to take ownership of your own destiny. That's the way I look at it.
No, you are right. You know what? It's just the thing is I always hear, most people, they don't know how to communicate. And I just don't understand how they don't get the concept of, you're paying for a service or, it's just like getting your hair cut. Like if you don't like it, speak up. And, with the coaching, I don't know if they just feel like they don't, do you know what I'm getting at? Like some people just don't know the right questions maybe to ask, or I guess they're afraid that even if the coach comes back with be like, shut up and listen to me. I've heard that before too, where they're just like, you know what, I know what I'm doing, especially the amateurs. They'll be like, well, I'm a pro and you're an amateur and what works for me will work for you. And I'm like, no, hey, that's just someone that's just not open to you work with you or educated enough to even try.
Exactly. It's a tough road because when you're an amateur, you're learning, and someone who's a pro level or above, they may look at an amateur and go, they just need to follow the plan and be done with it. Well, at that moment, you've got a hard, decision to make. Are you still going to stay with that path, or are you going to quit, not quit bodybuilding, but quit that coach, go to somebody else and learn something? And sometimes you have to do that to learn, because maybe a coach was good for you, maybe to get your pro card, but after your pro card, maybe they can't take you to the next level, and you got to find somebody else who could take you to the next level. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, as long as you do it in a professional manner, because everybody in this industry is really great, but everyone's not great for everybody, and that's what you have to realize. You learn, you grow. Because you think about it, when you were an amateur, when you first started, could you stay with the same plan that you are now? You can't. You have to grow. And if your coach doesn't grow with you, then that was the part of the journey that was special, but now you need a new journey. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. And you've moved on, and don't you feel like, yeah, sometimes it can be scary and a risk, but you found somebody, and it was probably I'm so glad I did this, you couldn't predict it, but you're probably so glad that it happened the way that it did.
Girl, I can't even tell you, because going back to when I had my ostomy, the emergency surgery, I'm coming back into bodybuilding, and then coach changes happened. And I was scared. I'll be honest with you. I didn't post it. I didn't talk about it, but inside I was scared, because it's what do I do now? Not only am I having to go with a new coach, I have a new body. I don't know what it's going to be like. And I don't know if I can handle it, because not handling going on stage, but handling going on stage with an ostomy, with everything, this is all new to me. So my decision was, regardless of how me and my coach back then worked together, I was going to go on that stage no matter what my body looked like, because the goal was to get on stage, not be the best bodybuilder, not to win the show, but I almost died. I lost all my muscle mass, and here I am, coming back better than ever. I'm going to do this. And that was the goal, to inspire people to continue going no matter what, because I know I'm talking very fast. Maybe I need more coffee or less coffee. But anyway, what happens a lot when people go through this kind of surgery, of course, it's life-changing. You're basically, okay, I won't make fun here, you're wearing a diaper on your abs for the rest of your life. Your self-esteem just plummets. How do you get out of that? How do you feel beautiful about yourself? Because a lot of people can have chronic illnesses and take a break from it. Like if you have migraines, maybe you could have a day off, but with this, there is no day off. 24/7, you're staring at it. So how do you feel good about yourself? And the first thing is, you don't give an F about what anyone else thinks.
Right.
Because you have to only care about you, and you're still beautiful. You're still a great person. You just keep going. And that's what got me to where I am today, is the mindset of, I know I could be better. I know I could be the best person. This was just a setback. That's all it was. And if you look at it that way, then you're going to do great. And I feel that mindset got me to where I am today. So last year when I competed again, it was to get on stage to prove to myself that I could do this. Now this year, I'm with a brand new coach. I think we started, what is this, April? I think we started maybe mid December, something like that.
Okay.
So about a month after the show that I had done, I was just trying to find somebody who can help me with my glutes, get me a little bit bigger. And he really proved himself in the first month. I was just shocked. He listened to me. We were able to talk about training, going back and forth. It's like, I like to do this, and I noticed this happens, that kind of back and forth. And he was like that. And then all of a sudden things just started taking off. And then I'm like, I really like physique, but my glutes, they look more like bodybuilder glutes. So he's like, let's switch to bodybuilding. And that's where the focus has been since. And things are just going great ever since. But if I had given up, if I kept saying, I got this ostomy and I just don't feel good, and people aren't going to accept me, well, they wouldn't. And if I accepted myself, people are going to accept me. And your body feels what your mind feels.
Absolutely. You put it into the universe or however you got to manifest into that, and it can go a long way because, I
Mhm.
was kind of thinking too, when you get a new coach or when you leave a coach, it's almost like, leaving a toxic boyfriend or something. It's just like, you
I
just
didn't think
gotta,
about it that way, but yeah,
yeah,
true.
like you just gotta like move on for the better. And like after you leave, like you said, like sometimes
Mhm.
mentally you're just like, can I do this? Like, you lose a little bit of confidence. But when you learn to like really appreciate yourself and what you've done, because what you've done, Cheryl, is amazing. And I know that people probably, I mean, I know that you've told us in the last podcast, people would DM you and say that you were inspiring, and you're still,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you're doing this for you, and inspiring people is just like a bonus. And that's another
Exactly.
great thing. So now you're moving on because now you hit that goal, you hit the stage, new coach, because now it's exciting. It's like new
Yeah.
improvements, new division. Like this is so cool.
I'll tell you, I'm just very excited, and I love the way the team has its atmosphere. It's more about the results.
Okay. Yeah.
Not social media focused, but it's each individual. It's how you're going to work with your body and so forth. I'm shocked about the amount of food I'm eating, how lean I still am. It's surprising me. Like my coach would be like, do you know how many carbs you're eating now? And I'm like, no, I just follow the plan. And it's right there on the plan. It tells me how many carbs, but I don't focus on it. I just focus on results. And when he told me, I'm like, really? And he
Mhm.
goes, yeah, we're going to bump it up. We're going to bump it up. And I'm like, I've never been like this before. So it's just working out great, and then like with the workouts and different things, one of the things that surprises the heck out of me is my lower half, because the belt squat, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm able to do that with my ostomy at a heavy
Oh,
weight.
wow. Okay. That's
And it
great.
surprises me. But
Yeah.
it's that mind muscle connection
Yes.
that I have to do things very systematically and slowly, but
Mhm.
I get there and I'm getting the results.
Mhm.
So it's just, and even my doctor, I had a follow up with him about a month and a half ago, and it was just a over the
Yeah.
phone kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he said to me, your blood work and all that's fine, fine, and all that. But he said to me, he goes, Cheryl, listen, I've never met somebody in my 50 years of practice who survived as well as you have. He goes, I need you on my team. He said, I need for you to work with some of my patients to get them out of their, as he said, funk
Yeah.
um, of getting an ileostomy. He goes, you don't know how many people you can save by just talking to them and telling them your story. And when I do this, it just warms my heart, because these people think their life is over, that because this happened to them, they could never have like a boyfriend, girlfriend, their family won't, respect whatever it is. And it is so far from the truth. That's all in your head. But he saw how quickly I rebounded and what a positive attitude I have. And of course, building all this muscle, also adds to it, but he's just like in awe. I mean, and he's been in this business over 50 years with the surgeries and seeing all these people. He goes, you bring hope to people with an ostomy. And he goes, I need that in my practice. So it's nice that when he sends people over to me to just talk to them, that's all it is. It's counseling them, telling them how I do things. And even in my mind, the simplest things with an ostomy, these people are like, wow, that's amazing. I could do this. And I'm like, yeah, you could do that. And you could be better in clothes. Like when I go to the gym, I show it off. It's like if I take off my shirt and I'm in just a sports bra, you're going to see, the bag. I don't care. I don't give it.
Yeah.
And because of my positive attitude of it, people don't care either.
No, no,
So that's the
because
way I
what are
look
they going to
at it.
say? What are they going to say to you? I always tell people that too at the gym. Just,
Yeah.
somebody can be mean to you, but if you, like I said, if you like yourself, then, somebody says, wow, like that's like gross or something. And just be like, okay, well, you don't pay my bills or so whatever. And just go on
Yeah,
and do what you're doing.
exactly. You know, and everybody likes something different. Like some people love muscular men. Some people go, ooh, that's gross. Why would you want so much muscle? Okay. And that has nothing to do with a disability. It's just a preference, you know. I like having muscle, you know, but I happen to have an ostomy too. So, you know, I just look at it, it's just a look. That's all it is.
It makes you different, and I think that's great. I think it's good to be different. We're not all meant to be the same, and and it's made you stronger. And not that I would ever wish that on anybody, but like it's just like when you work hard for something and then you're challenged with something, you end up stronger. And in the long run, like it probably motivates you because you're like, I'm not giving up. Like you might have times of doubt. We all do. It all goes up and down.
Oh, of course.
But you made it, and like I said, like this is exciting because now you're opening up now to more goals. And I think it's great that you do talk about it and people listen and that you're going to inspire people, because I think now more than ever, I think that face-to-face communication or just hearing good stories, there's so much crap on the news. I want to hear stories like this too.
Exactly. To me, it does motivate me. When I get that person who contacted me and said, I'm going through this, and it doesn't even have to be an ostomy, it could be anything. And they said, I was going through this, but because of your story, it inspired me to think differently. And now I've overcome whatever, they were overcoming. And a lot of this isn't even publicized. This is all behind the scenes. And I find that even more amazing because I inspire people that are not on social media, like posting, okay, she said this or this. Somehow it's from a friend of a friend that gave, my link and my story, and they looked at it, and that's amazing, that someone like me who doesn't have a big social media presence is still finding people to inspire. And that's just amazing. I just love it.
Do you think you'll end up hitting more than one show this year? Because I think the more shows you do, people are going to see you, and not that you need to be the biggest social media account, but I just think people will start to talk about you when you're on the stage and everything. Do you think you'll do more than one?
It depends on how I do it the first one.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I really suspect there'll be a second and a third one. I'm really going for 3 this year, of course, within a certain time period, because you don't want to do one like in June and then one in December, that's just way too much. You can't, I want to go into a building period, because right now I've built so much in such a short time that part of me is like, I don't want to compete because I want to keep growing. And it's like, all right, but you got to stop growing and you still got to compete. You got to do it. So I'm definitely going to compete soon. And then, of course, later in the year, go back to a growing stage and go on. But yeah, you know how it is. It's like you want to grow. But it's like at some point you got to stop and go, okay, I definitely need to go back on that stage. And one thing I'm very excited about going back on the stage is I've been working with a posing coach on a weekly basis, because I want to do so much better stage-wise, stage presence. With my ostomy, I'll be honest, it does hold me back a little bit, because I'm trying to figure out how to move with the bag and stuff like that. So this person's really helping me out a lot to get all of those butterflies out and so on. And so I definitely want to put a nice show out there. And I'm hoping this year I get to do my posing routine. I was disappointed last show because they said everybody was going to be able to do it. And then I think it was only the top 5 or 10 that was able to do it. I was so close, but they announced it when we were backstage. And I'm thinking, man, I worked so hard. I paid for this and now I can't do my routine, So I'm like, oh, well, I didn't get upset, but, it would have been nice if they told us, before the show. But it happened. So I could have done the same routine that I was going to do then, but I was telling, my inner circle, it's like, that was a point in time that I felt very close to the song because it was at that journey, but that journey's gone. So now I want a different song and a different routine to emphasize the journey that I'm on now. because you've got to
beautiful.
grow.
Yeah.
What's that?
I just want to say it's so beautiful because like I
Mhm.
admire the physique in female bodybuilders. I love figure, but the whole creativity and art form that comes with doing a routine, it just sounds like so much fun. And to hear you passionately be like, this is no, I can't do that old song. Like that was, you know, it was artwork and it was good at a time, but it was a limited time. Now I got to bring something new and how I feel now. And like, that's going to relate to the stage too, because you're going to be in that moment and being like, this is my time. And it will
Yep.
resonate with the judges and audience too.
Because the song that I was going to do was Aerosmith's Dream On.
Yeah. Okay. I remember you talked about that. Yeah.
And there's that part where it says, sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the laughter, sing for the tear, kind of thing. And that made sense to me because I had my friends there. It was a year of coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So, you almost died. Mm-hmm. Now you're back. And that song still, makes me teary eyed. But I'm done. I'm done dying. I'm done, through all of that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm here. So I want to celebrate life. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not going to give up my song. I'm hoping that I do it on stage and it's a surprise and it's going to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I really want to do this one. And I look at it, maybe it was meant to be. Yeah. Maybe this was the time that I was meant to do my routine and people could see how beautiful it is. Maybe that's what it was meant to be. Who knows? But that's what I'm looking at. So I just can't wait to do it because it does emphasize where I came from and the beauty of where I am now, mm-hmm. living, breathing, and, just, thriving. Yeah. And so I think it's just amazing.
And you said you're with this posing client once a week, right? Or do you pose? How much do you pose? Do you like pose a lot too? And just
I wish I could pose more than I do.
You're busy.
Actually, yeah. I mean, by the time I go to work, I go to the gym, I come home, I'm dead. I usually, this is funny. I get home, I eat my post-workout meal and I take a nap before bed, because I'm just so tired. Yeah. It's crazy. But when I'm in the gym, I actually pose, like in between sets and stuff. Like if I'm doing back, I'll do the front lat spread, different things like that. So I'm always in the gym. I'm always doing something. But on the weekends, I always spend a majority of the time going through my opening routine and practicing the posing routine, because that's where you can practice the flow, the elegance. In the gym, it's a little bit harder because you want to focus on your workout. But if I have a 2-minute break in between, if let's say I'm doing shoulders and I'm breaking for 1:30, I could stand there and do my front and let the blood pump in there. So it's doing two things. I'm helping pose, but I'm also getting that blood flow in. So when I do it again, I'll get a better pump. So you understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I think people or athletes who don't do that are at a disadvantage. They should be focused at the gym doing those little things, because you're getting that mind-muscle connection even better when you do that.
Yeah, don't be afraid about other people in the gym. You're a bodybuilder. You're like, this is like a part of the workout is when bodybuilders are flexing in between sets. It's not to be a douchebag. It's to
no, it isn't. Yeah, it isn't. So that's why I love doing all of that stuff in between, and I personally don't care who looks at me. That's the way it is. Yeah.
Let's get that pump, baby, especially in the shoulders and the delts, and it's like starting to hurt, and you're just like loving it.
Oh, I love it. It's like, ooh, look at that. I got a pump now, kind of things. I just love all that kind of stuff. It just excites me,
Yeah, and in prep, everything looks so freaky too. And you're just like, this is what's fun about prep, right? Like when you're in your off season, it's a little watery, a little fluffy, whatever. Exactly. But prep, it's like, there's some crazy things that happen daily too. You never know.
Exactly. It's crazy. So it might just went a little bit down, but it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I love the prep. I love when your body changes and all that kind of stuff. That's just the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm. And then what about a suit? I love to talk about suits. You got a new suit for this show?
I will have a new suit. I don't have it yet. Okay. I'm planning on what it is. I'm thinking red this time because I got my pro card in red. So I'm thinking maybe I need to go back to a red suit. Red, purples look really good on me. But to me, red is it's like a powerful color. It's like, I'm here. Look at me. It's even in the business world, you come in with the black slacks and the red shirt, you mean business, kind of thing. So I'm thinking a reddish tone this time.
Yeah, and that will look nice with your hair if you keep it that same color. It's that nice dark color with the red.
Yeah, it'll stay the same color. I'll probably have extensions in just because I miss my long hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if we discussed that I lost 75% of my hair, so I'm really surprised it's getting there. It's like you can see the different lengths, but it's getting thicker. It's funny because it's growing from here to here, and then this is staying the same. And it's like, can you grow any more? Come on, kind of thing. So it's getting there. I'm very blessed that it's coming back the way it is. So I think in another year, it'll be like, what hair loss? What happened? But again, you just got to go through the motions and,
Do you use any like special, like shampoo, or you just do your regular thing? Like, did they recommend you do anything for hair damage, stuff like that?
Pretty much, the condition, how can I put it? I lost it immediately, like within a week.
Yeah.
And then everything stopped. So my hair came back to the way it was, but it was mostly gone. Yeah. So what I do is I use Minoxidil.
Okay.
Every day. I use Vegamore, which is the vitamins, the liquid vitamins for your hair. Okay. I don't take vitamins by mouth because doing it in the hairline gets there 100%, where if you take a pill, it's still got to go through your digestive and it may not get to your hair. So I do those two things constantly. And then I know this will be like, ooh, but I try not to wash my hair more than once a week. Okay. The reason is as your hair's growing, even though it's good to get the oils out and everything, if you do it too much, it slows down the hair growth. Yeah. So it's like a combination. Which one do you want more? So I found that if I do it once a week, and by the end of the week, my hair is looking like it hasn't, been washed, but it is growing faster than it was when I was washing it like every other day, kind of thing.
I'm sure that's worth it, because I've tried doing the same thing, letting it, because it does grow faster, even for me, when you don't wash it, and you just let it do its natural process. But because I'll be like, I'll have to ask my friends, I'll be like, does my hair look dirty? Did my hair look greasy? And I never have anyone that says, yeah, your hair looks disgusting. Like, so I don't think people really notice.
I hear it. I think it's more like, we're so in tune with ourselves. It's like, oh, this hair's sticking up. Oh, this is, we're so critical of ourselves.
Yes.
But I use Aveda's products. They have like a smooth infusion. Okay. I've always loved their products because they really put moisture. For me, it works really well for me. Occasionally, like I'll run out, so I'll like use some of my daughter-in-law's shampoo, and she just uses whatever's on the shelf, and I wash my hair, and I could just feel the difference. Mm-hmm. That it's not as clean, it's not as moisturized. They put a lot of chemicals in those, so anything that doesn't have the sulfites and all that is the best thing to use.
And I've recently discovered that myself. Like, I didn't really do any research on it, but I just instantly felt a result when I bought better shampoo and conditioner. And it's just it really is a game changer, because like what you said with the chemicals and stuff, like sometimes it's like shampoo to some people, and they just throw it in and clean their hair and they're happy. But I'm like, no, it's better, especially like for skin, like it just overall. And then when you are prolonging your washing periods, like the shampoo will actually make your hair feel better longer, as long as you're not using the crap stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or putting a ton of hairspray in and different products that make it worse, kind of thing. But yeah, absolutely. So that's what I do. And the same thing for the body. I use more natural products than just regular bar soap, because it really does make a difference on your skin. And after what I went through, my skin still is constantly dry. Because it really took a toll on my body. Because you have to realize, when you go through this process and you almost die, all of the nutrients and everything comes out of your body. My daughter said I looked over 100 years old when she saw me in the hospital, because that's how bad I was. So now, okay, I'm a little older than most people probably watching. I'm 55 now. I've gone through this, and we all know about collagen and how you get to a certain age and collagen production isn't as productive as it when you're younger. So now you go through this stage, your collagen production is not happening. I mean, it's pretty much coming to a halt. How do you get it back? And that has been a frequent challenge of mine since then. So you think about, okay, she almost died, she's living, she's trying to get healthier, and now she wants her skin to look good. Well, damn it, yes, I'm a woman, I want to look good, I mean, I know I went through everything, but I have every right to want to look as best as I can. So I take collagen supplements, I use washes that help with that production, and I really find it to make a difference than just using, bar soap and just, hoping nature takes over. Because if you do it that way, nature will take over and you will look older. That's just life.
And I'm glad that you're talking about all this, and I'm curious myself, because I don't see as many people in bodybuilding of your age talking about these tips that they're running into now, because when you're young, you're just kind of doing beep
exactly
around. But then I'm just like, wait, like what should I be doing now, or maybe what should I consider? So that's why I like that you're bringing up these things. Like, I know you said it's a challenge, but it might help some of us that want to, because nowadays with all the chemicals in the shampoo, or even like the air quality now, like you just don't know. But at the same time, like there's a lot of things I don't think that it's good for us that's happening that we're just not aware of, that's going to affect our appearance.
And also, as we're, us being bodybuilders, we go through our progress season, we're eating happy and all that, and then you start to lean out, and your face starts changing, because you're losing all of that fat. So your face does show it. So you're gaining, you're shrinking, you're gaining, you're shrinking, and at some point your body's going to go, wait, I can't keep going through this, so I'm going to stay shrunk. And I'm not going to plump up anymore. Then you're like, what happened to all of this? And that's when your collagen production really makes a difference. So you've got to find ways to help, keep that stimulated, especially in our field, because we're constantly fat, skinny,
right.
And it's
along with the joints. I have to remind people too, like, because I've gotten into cardio where I would much prefer the bike. I'm not like a treadmill person. I mean, whatever, each their own, but I just think of it when I'm like getting lean. I don't think my knees are going to want the off-season weight, and I don't think they're going to want to do the little low body fat prep weight either. So I would rather work my ass off on a cycle bike, or maybe even elliptical is not that bad. But yeah, I'm like, come on, girls, like don't your knees might go out, because you got to think when you're in the off season and prep, like you just said, fluctuating, like that's hard on a lot of things in the body.
Well, one thing for the legs, especially the knees, that I invested in were the what do you call it? The compression boots.
Oh, yes.
100%. Anyone in this sport, I think it's it's a very good investment to do that. Especially after leg day, you come home, you use them, you'll have less soreness than if you don't. Because I know some people say, oh, well, when I go to my chiropractor and when I go get work done, I'll use them. But you may use them once a month. I think it really needs to be part of your regimen that you do that. And I even have what do you call it? A massage chair.
Oh, wow.
A really good one. I got one off of Amazon. I think it was around 1,500, which is a little steep, but it's got the feet, it's got the back, and it really like relieves the knots, and it does even your arms and stuff like that. So almost every day I come home and I'll sit on it for a while, and people go, that's a lot of work, but you don't realize how much stress you're putting on your body, and all of these little things adds up to making you feel better. That's what it comes down to.
Especially us desk job workers, because I try to stand here. This is where I work, and I try to use this as a stand-up desk, but I still don't move that much, because I will stand still on a computer because I'm constantly doing things. And I feel like sitting is like the worst thing.
It's awful. I'm the same way. I have a desk job, and, even though I manage people, I have to get up and talk to people and stuff. It's not as much as being active. I mean, walking from one office to another, I mean, let's be real, that's not a lot of effort, Now, to some people it may be, but I'm saying for us, it's not a lot of effort, So yeah, we've got to do stuff just to, keep moving, keep that blood flow going during the day, and it's tough.
Do you still wear that belt in the gym? I know last time you showed us that you had like a lifting belt. It wasn't like a belt, but it was like a strap
Yeah.
on. Do you still wear
Yeah,
that?
and actually, I switched to a different vendor, but
Okay.
it's the same principle. It's not a weightlifting belt,
Mhm.
but it's more like a compression
Yeah,
that
that's
just keeps around your abs. So it actually does two things. It helps me sweat, which I really don't need a lot of that around the abs, but it does, and then helps keep my ostomy close to me.
okay.
Kind of thing. So that's what it helps me do.
Mhm.
But the only times I really take it off is if I'm doing leg presses,
Okay.
because I can't get that range of
Yeah.
motion, can't get that low. And then of course, when I'm doing abs, I take it off as
Yeah.
well, because that's kind of a
Mhm.
defeating purpose. Is
Yeah.
you have something around, is like, yeah, you really need the crunch kind of thing. So
Yeah.
but I love it. It really helps me feel secure that I can lift heavier with my ostomy. That's the main reason
Mhm.
that I do it. But it doesn't give me any like back protection and stuff. It's just helps keep my mind focused, like that little guy down. I actually look as my little friend, you know what I'm saying? Because it is my lifeline.
Yeah.
So I just make sure that, he's happy, I'm happy, life is good. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because it's just like a tool that you use in the gym and you're so
Mhm.
used to it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you
Yeah,
forget to share that kind of thing. Cause like, I mean, I'll do a waist trainer for the same kind of concept just to, remind me to breathe through my diaphragm and all that other stuff, but
right. Yeah.
I'm not going to wear it for the leg press or doing abs either. And I think that it's just a useful tool and you just wear it so much. You're just like, it's just like part of me in the gym.
Exactly, because of my condition, without really having, any intestines left,
Mhm.
I see people use those waist trainers when they're doing leg workouts, and it makes me cringe because I know all of that pressure is just too much, and you can really damage yourself. You
Yeah.
have to be smart when to use it and when not to use it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's I don't know how where the hype came from really. It's just I guess people see it in pictures or whatever, but it's a
Mhm.
time and a place. It can be useful, but you're not supposed to live in it.
I know some people, I mean, I remember when I first got into bodybuilding, I was
Mhm.
told wear it like 7 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, there's no way,
Yeah.
it's so uncomfortable. I just said, it's not for me.
No.
And I don't think it's going to give you that really tiny waist, because let's be real, some of it's genetics, some of it's training, there's a lot of variables. But if it really worked, don't you think everybody would have that little tiny waist just by putting it on?
Yeah, I think a lot of it can be digestion too. I think some people just don't prioritize taking what they might need to go to the bathroom because nobody ever wants to talk about that. And I'm just like, no, like you will feel better if you have a regular bathroom routine, right? And you take the things. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
do you
Mhm.
take anything with your bag that like does anything bother you? Do you have to take anything for that?
Um, the funny thing is, no.
No.
The reason why is like I might have 10 or 15 minutes of it staying in me and then it's starting to come
Oh,
out.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I will never have constipation. If I do, I'm going to the hospital
Yeah.
because things aren't working out. And that's what basically happened the night of the emergency with the ileostomy, because things got stuck, and it got stuck so bad that it twisted my intestines,
Yeah.
and you can't untwist it. And only, they say, statistically 2% of the people get what I had,
Okay.
and that's very small, and they say it's always fatal. Like, they don't have people that live through that usually. So for me to even live through that was a miracle, they said. And they attributed a lot of it, of course, to my mental state, but also to having as much muscle as I did.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, the first thing to go is your muscle. It just eats at you very quickly. And then from there, the rest of your body. So in their theory is like, if I didn't have all of that mass,
Mhm.
then it just wouldn't have been a good outcome, kind of thing. So hey, there's a bonus for being muscular,
I was
right? I
gonna
mean,
say, like, muscle saved
you
your
know,
life. Muscle
it
is there
does,
for
you
you.
know. And they really say as you get older, I mean, forget about bodybuilding for a second, but as you get older, your muscles start to deteriorate. That's just the, process of life.
Yeah.
But they do say that if you help sustain your muscles as you get older in life, that helps keep you healthier and living a better quality of life. So there's another reason for building muscle, is to keep the quality of your life better as you age.
Mhm.
And I
Definitely.
wish more people would realize that and accept it, because it is truth,
Mhm.
100%. And
Mhm.
that's why I believe in this sport so much. There's so much benefit to it.
There really is. And plus, it doesn't matter the age. And I think that you'll be in the gym for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to give this up, and you're always going to want to be in there, even with everything that you got going on, right? That's our place. That's our happy place, like they say. So, and what gym do you go to down there? Because you're still in Florida, right?
I'm still in Florida. I go to Kissimmee Muscle.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
90% of the time. I also have a membership to Fitness CF as well. So 90% of the time I go to Kissimmee Muscle. And then the few times that I'm at home, because I live closer to Fitness CF, I'll go there on the weekends sometimes. But always when I'm at work, it's always Kissimmee Muscle, because it's closer. And honestly, it's a bodybuilder's gym.
It
I
is.
love the atmosphere. It is so great there. And the one thing I like about it too, with my condition,
Mhm.
let's say I'm on the lat pull down. It doesn't matter which machine, but let's say I'm on the lat pull down. Okay. With my condition, I have to empty my bag several times during my workout. It's
Yeah.
really quick. It's not like I'm in the bathroom 15 minutes. It's empty, go, come back.
Mhm.
When I come back, my station is still there. No
Yeah.
one takes it. No one's saying to me, why the heck are you, I'm leaving it or whatever.
Yeah.
They understand. And I'm back within 2 minutes, which is plenty of time to take a break anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you were timing yourself, take a minute or two between sets. I run, empty, come back. So I feel better that I can lift instead of worrying about something that's on my abs. And that's what I love about that gym. But if you go to a lot of commercial gyms, you don't have that peace of mind. So now I've got to worry about not only working out, but I got to worry about, am I going to have the machine when I come back? So a lot of my mind is focused on, can I work out versus just working out? So when I'm at Kissimmee Muscle, 100% of my mind is focused on working out. And it's been such a game changer. And
Yeah.
I actually learned that during COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because during COVID, when the gyms were closed, I was fortunate to have a small gym at my office.
Okay.
Right below where I worked at, it had a Smith machine, it had 4 different machines, it had some cardio. No one ever used it. So here's COVID, and every night I'd be in there like 2 hours working out. And there's a bathroom right in the gym.
Mhm.
And I noticed because, all right, a little TMI here, but before I had my ostomy,
Mhm.
I do a squat. Okay, so I'd be on the Smith screen, I do a squat. Because of the pressure, it would force things down there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
after a few sets, I'd have to go use the bathroom and come back. When I was at my traditional gym, I would always lose my machine, especially squat machine, always lose it.
Mhm.
So now I'm not able to really focus on my workout because I know I have to take a break because of my body. But then it was like, I'm the only one in that area. And it was like a haven. It was beautiful because I go to the bathroom, come back, Smith machine, keep working. And I noticed my workouts were more efficient.
Yeah.
So then when the gym's opened, I'm back at Kissimmee Muscle, I'm realizing I could do the same thing there. This
Mhm.
is awesome. I know most people are like, that sounds crazy, but for me, it's a beautiful thing. And then after getting my ostomy, it's even better because I do have to empty the bag several times during a workout, and there's no issues. I'll always have my workout machine.
Mhm.
And now a little secret here is that my coach says you need to eat in the middle of your workout. So now I'm eating in the middle of my workouts. And of course it's going through me. And now I'm going to the bathroom. But it's so wonderful. I mean, not going to the bathroom, of course, but it's wonderful to have that kind of environment
Mhm.
where I could just thrive and build muscle, you know? So for anybody who has like a disability or something like I do, it's sometimes just the atmosphere. It's not your workouts. It's not what you're doing. Sometimes it could be the atmosphere and you just need a different gym or something to really make things change. And
Yeah, and
that's
Kissamee's
what
a
I
great
realized.
gym, and I think for everything too, because you're talking about leg equipment, they've got the pendulum squat, which is probably pretty good for you to use, and then I know they have that leg press that's like isolated. That's like a really nice leg press that they have there, the white one. Yeah,
Yes, they've
yeah.
got such great leg equipment that, you know, you go in there and you're like a kid in a candy store. It's like, which one do I do? And you can't do them all because you'll kill yourself. You know, but it's really nice. And what I really like is that because they have so much different leg equipment, if you are set on doing one, but someone's on it,
Mhm.
there's always something else that's similar to it that you can do,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't find that in a lot of gyms. It's usually like one of each kind of thing and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Great.
it really it's such a game changer over there, you know. And the mindset, I like it because most of the people are bodybuilders, you know, they're in that mindset of, you know, you're competing. So if they see you supersetting something, they won't touch either machine because they know that's important that you continue supersetting for how many sets you're going to do, because that's what we do. And I'll respect anyone else who does the same thing.
Right.
So that's why environment makes such a big difference.
Are you doing a lot of supersets? I've been seeing people, they do more of that. Like, are you doing that for like every body part, or which ones are you doing that for?
I'm doing it more. It really depends on the day. Like I do 2 legs, 2 back, and 2 delts. So that's my regimen. So on one leg day, I'll focus on supersets. Like I'll do the RDLs on the belt squat.
Okay.
And when you're done doing one set of those, you want to cry because of the way you do them. And then I run over to the lying leg curl and I'll superset it with that. So you get the tension and then you get the fast pump on the lower leg. So those are the kind of supersets that I'll do with delts. I don't do many supersets with delts because I do a lot of repetitions with short breaks in between to keep the pump going. Yeah. So I do that. Now with back, when I do the pull downs, then I'll superset it with the straight. What do you call it? You know what I'm saying? That
it's like a pull. Yeah, like a pull down. Yeah.
The standing one. So to get the lats pumped, that's what I'll do. But if I'm doing a machine, I normally don't do a superset just because of having to go somewhere else. It's kind of hard kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely easier with like dumbbells or cables kind of thing for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So like with the cables, I'll like, if I do leg kicks on the cables, then I'll superset that with dumbbell lunges.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that combination is really good. So
lunges are whoo.
Oh yeah, I've been loving them for my hamstrings. It's the one genetic gift I've gotten in life, and it hasn't been my health and all that kind of stuff, has been my quads.
Yeah.
100%. When I was in the hospital and I lost all my muscle mass, my quads were still shredded. It was like, how is that possible? So I am gifted with that. So fortunately, I don't have to work as hard on my quads. So when I do lunges, I focus more on my hamstrings, which traditionally us women, it's a challenge. You know, it's just one of those challenges. So I try to focus more on my hamstrings when I do those. And I think they really work a lot.
Yeah. And you still do squats, I assume?
Actually, no.
No? Okay,
I'll do the reason why is that I've come to discover with my lower half that the belts, I mean, I guess I do squats, but I do the belt squat. Okay. I don't do the barbell squat because I found that my body responds better when it's focused just on the lower half. Instead of doing the barbell squat. So I stopped doing that. The barbell doesn't hurt me in any way, shape, or form. I could still do everything fine, but effectiveness is the belt squat, and that machine I could do so many different things on.
Oh yeah.
And it's gotten my body so like strong that on the hip thrust,
Mhm.
the other day I did I can't do the math real quick in my head,
That's
but
okay. I can't do math either.
three 45s on each side
Okay.
plus
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to do that kind of weight with 12 reps. And so it shows that my body, my hips are getting so much stronger.
Yeah.
And imagine doing that with an ostomy. I'm just like blown away. It's like, I got this thing out of my abs, but I could still put a bar relatively close and lift that much weight. I'm like, man, I am just so excited when I can do stuff like that.
And you said it was a mind muscle thing with the belt squat, and that's going to everything else. Because if you think about it, like you're trying to use your glutes, and hopefully that means like your bag wouldn't conflict with that, So it's just getting that squeeze in the hamstrings and glutes, and that's what you're focused on. And that's probably why you're getting so much like growth and stuff too, is the body is just really connecting at this point. You're really, really focused.
You have to, because if you deviate any way, you can
Mhm.
pull a muscle
Yeah.
where the ostomy is, and it could be devastating. And that's the one thing that you don't want.
Mhm.
And what I do, which I laugh at myself for this, but it works for me. So when I do like a series of, let's say 6 or 8 squats, okay, on the belt squat, I detach, and immediately I start slapping my ostomy. And people are probably looking at me, what's wrong with her? They don't really know what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is making sure it's okay. It's a
Yeah.
living thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll just make sure everything's okay, which it always is. But it's that mindset of saying, okay, you're okay. You went through a lot of pressure. You're calming yourself down.
Mhm.
And then you take your 2-3 minute break. You do it again. You hold your ostomy, you massage it a second, you're good, you're okay, you move on. And some people look at me like, that doesn't make any sense. But there's been a few people who have ostomies that started doing that,
Yeah.
and they go, it's been a game changer.
Yeah.
Because it's calming your muscle down.
Yeah.
That is a muscle, just like anything else. If your shoulder's sore, you're gonna massage it. You're gonna make sure it's okay. That's all I do, just to make sure everything's okay. And so far, it's been working out. So that's my thing in the gym when it comes to an ostomy.
Hey, if it works, you do you, girl, and it's working. And now we're going to female bodybuilding, and I think that's so cool. Have you? So when you make this change, you think you're going to want to go for the Wings of Strength ambassador? I know they're always looking for female bodybuilders.
That would be awesome, because not only, I'd probably be one of the oldest ones, I'd be one of the first ostomates.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been anybody with an ostomy part of the team. So that would be amazing to get that part into the bodybuilding world as well. So I get very excited about that, and I look at my ostomy as, my superpower,
Yeah.
this is my cape. That's the way I look at it. This is my lifeline. And if I could put it out there and inspire others, being at the Wings of Strength, I'll get a custom bad put over it, with the Wings of Strength on it, that'd just be awesome, and I could promote that. But yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I
always
just,
like, if I was a female bodybuilder, I'd be all about that. That's like join the A team over there. It's like, yeah, please.
I think it's just so exciting,
Yeah.
what they do for women's bodybuilding and stuff like that. Going on like kind of a different subject, but
Yeah.
still bodybuilding, but in my job. Okay. In June, I will be there 25 years. I'm going somewhere with this. So I'm
Oh,
gonna be there
okay. Okay.
25 years.
Yeah.
And when you make every like 5th year, you go to the board and they present you with a plaque for how many years, and they take a picture. So I haven't told my CEO I'm going to do this, but when he calls me up there and, he hands me the plaque, congratulations, 25 years, whatever, and we do the standard picture, we're going to do that with the board. But I'm going to ask him, let's do what is it? The men's, they go like this, they face each other.
Yeah. Most
I'm going to have him do that and get a picture in our boardroom just like that. Because I think that would be fun, because they all know I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they support me, they love me for it. So I think that would just be so awesome to get that picture with a bunch of board of directors and my CEO
Okay.
doing that kind of move. That would be classic to me. And I know they'll do it.
Yeah,
So
no, why not? It sounds like fun, especially
yeah,
25 years. I mean, come on, let the girl have her picture.
exactly. So I'm not telling anyone at my job I'm doing that, but that's what I'm going to be doing is June. As soon as I get up there, I'm like, all right, Brian, we're ready to do this. And I know, and he's like a big stocky guy. So it's going to be perfect. I think it's just going to be excellent to have that.
Well, congratulations on all those years. I tell you what, that's great to be with one company for that long. And I'm sure they've treated you well. And like you said, you like your job, it keeps you busy, I'm sure.
It does. And the company, we're a local utility company. So we're about the people. We're about, when any disasters or anything like that happen, we're there. Because think about it, if you don't have electricity, it's that's the first thing that you want, back on. So we really understand that. So we're a family oriented company. We do a lot of what do you call it, local events. We give back to the community. We're a nonprofit, so we're very family oriented. And when I went through my ostomy, I was out, I think, almost 4 months.
Oh yeah, right.
Not once did I ever get a call or an email or anything like that saying, you need to get back because you may not have a job. None of that. I would just periodically get messages of, hey, how are you doing? Just keep us posted. Let me know what your doctor said. That was it. But there was never, ever once I was concerned about losing my job, not getting paid, none of that. They treated me so nicely during that. And I don't know any other company that would have done that. I mean, to be out 4 months and still get a paycheck and still have a job. I mean, that's amazing, and especially during the height of COVID, because COVID started in March of 2020.
Yep.
My situation started in June of 2020. So that would have been an easy way to say, cut her loose. This is COVID. Not once did they ever even think about that. And that's why I've always been grateful for my job and the company. They've just been so fantastic all those years, So yeah, definitely pleased where I'm working.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like that, especially in bodybuilding. I do think it is nice to have a job outside of bodybuilding. Like, we love the sport, but I think it's good to have something else keep us busy, another skill or whatever else, because we know this sport is a routine and Groundhog's Day. And when you're in prep, it can really get to your mind sometimes. So I don't know. I think having a job, a full-time job is great to just, some days it sucks, but that's just going to be life, right? So it's like,
exactly.
I'm grateful for it to just keep me busy, because I don't know how some people are full-time bodybuilders and can just like, I'm like, I don't want to be able to have to take a nap every day. Like, I want to be busy doing stuff and keep my mind off food.
Yeah, exactly. That's the hardest part for me, because I'm hungry all the time and I'm eating a ton, and it's like, I want more food. I want more food, And my coach is like, you got to slow down. I'm like, I know. And I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm hungry. I want food, kind of thing. So, so I love that part, and I do love having something else, because in my job, I manage people and technology, and it's such a different mindset. And I just love it, what I do, but I also love bodybuilding. Like, sometimes I'll talk to my staff and I'll get onto the bodybuilding kick, and they're like, you're so passionate about this. I go, I know. And just tell me to shut up, because sometimes I'll go on and on, but I love both worlds. I really do. And I agree with you. I like being multifaceted, having multiple things, because I think that makes you an overall better person, kind of thing. And at some point, we won't be able to be the bodybuilders that we are today. Life happens, we get older, whatever. And then we can guide people. We can, share our experiences. In the bodybuilding world in a different facet kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's just good it makes you an interesting person. Not that you're already
very interesting. Yeah,
you're already unique and interesting, but It is fun when you meet a bodybuilder and it is cool whenever they're like, yeah, I work in, IT, or I am a pest control person or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and you bodybuild, you make that all work. Like, that is just cool, because this is a lot.
I'm going to tell you what I think is pretty cool. Okay. When, there's, in my conference room, and there's a bunch of people in there, and my boss will say, okay, well, I want you part of this meeting. Okay, whatever, great, great, great. And I walk in and everyone's face just stares at me like, whoa, these are people like outside the company, because everyone knows that, what I look like in a bodybuilder within the company, but people that have never seen me when I walk in, they don't know what to say, because they're like, whoa, obviously we're bodybuilders, we're in a different world than they are. And they're just amazed. And my boss does that sometimes on purpose, because he just wants to see people's reactions. Yeah. He'd be like, yo, Cheryl, just come in the meeting. I'm like, for what? I don't belong in here. Just come in, sit for a few minutes, and then walk out. I'm like, okay. And I know why he's doing it, just to see reactions. And I think it's just great, because he's so proud of what I do, and, all of these CEOs and VPs and all that, they support me 100% in this. And I think it's great. But when people in the business world react in such a certain way, they think like you're like the greatest person ever, because it's like something different. They've never been around a bodybuilder, so they ask all these like weird questions, like you're looking at them like, that doesn't make any sense, but they don't know about bodybuilding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I like I always get the question, I don't know about you, but now that like I'm a pro, they're always like, so do you get like a paycheck, or how's this work? Like, they want to know how I get paid. Like, what?
Oh, my favorite question is, and it's not because like you're pro or not, but how much can you bench?
Oh,
I hate that question with a passion.
Me too, especially when I don't like numbers and math. I'm like, I don't remember the last what it was. I'm like you. I'm like 3 plates on a side. I don't know.
And the thing is what you bench doesn't make you bigger or smaller, out of the overall thing. But people who are not bodybuilders think, oh, if you can bench press, let's say 500 pounds, which is crazy, then you must be stronger and bigger than the person who can't, and it has nothing to do with that. And we know that, but I always get that question from non-bodybuilders. And I look at them and I say, it doesn't matter. And they look at me like I'm retarded or something, because it's like, it's gotta matter, but no, it really doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to where you're going, kind of size and stuff. Because actually, I don't bench press heavy. I've traditionally been weaker in this area for some reason. It could be because of when I was going through cancer, I had a lot of surgeries. I had the chemo port, so many augmentations, tumors removed. They cut into my pecs. I mean, I've had so much done, it's like, I need a break. I really need a break, so when I start lifting and I'm like, I'm not as strong as I could be, I give myself a break because of everything I've been through, I mean, you got to look at it that way.
I just end up telling people I just look strong. I'm not strong.
That's funny, because of my ostomy, I won't lift a lot of things in the house, because when you're bodybuilding, you're doing it under a controlled environment. It's not like CrossFit where you're lifting, throwing, and all that. If I did that, I'd probably hurt myself really bad. So whenever my kids go, oh, can you help me move this couch and do this? And my son will be like, wait, no. Her muscles are for show. She doesn't actually use them. And he's right, because with my ostomy, I could really hurt myself. Yeah. So it's a controlled environment, but I just think it's funny. Because as bodybuilders, we know that we have to lift, but in our downtime, we've got to rest everything. So if we're constantly being active, it actually could remove the muscle to a point. Yep. It's counterproductive. So people don't realize that.
They don't, especially like today. I always take rest days on Sundays, and I had a guy that was like, oh, I'm surprised you're not at the gym today. And I'm like, I need I take 2 rest days, but I'm like, I need days off. Like, I can't just do this every day. I'm like, I don't know. Some people do it, and I'm just like, that's too much. Not bodybuilder, so.
Occasionally, I may do like a 7 days in a row, but usually the last day will be just arms or something that's not really that pumpy, because I just want to I don't know, I got a little bit of extra energy that week, but I guarantee you the next week, I'm feeling it. There is no way that I can consistently do 7 days a week.
Yeah.
No one can do that. That's insane. If anyone tells you they can.
Yeah. We, especially, you know, as we get older too, you know, maybe these young teenagers, 17-year-olds want to run around and take their pre-workout and jump and like do all the things. And I'm like, no, you know, when you get older, you'll be like, no, I'm working out hard enough during my other days that I want those rest days because like you said, it's fine that you do like pumpy workouts just to get some blood flow or whatever. But I think, you know, us bodybuilders, we're like trying to make that hour, 2 hour, whatever in the gym count, because outside of that, like bodybuilding's just eat, sleep.
That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first started bodybuilding, I would work out hard, but I didn't have that mind muscle connection. I heard of it, but I didn't understand it really. So I would work out hard and I'd get tired, but I was just getting tired because I was overworking. I wasn't working properly, if that makes sense. So now, like when I do legs, my legs are the one part that actually gets worked out, not my whole body, just to get hurt or like tired, if that makes sense to you. So I see so many newbies and people that are inexperienced, they go, oh, well, I've been working out hard and all that, but do you feel it in that body part? And they sort of looked at me like, what do you mean? I'm sore all over. Look at me. I'm sweating. I'm tired. But that doesn't matter. You can go do CrossFit for that. But do you feel it in that body part that you were focused on? And they look at me like, oh, I don't know. Well, that means it wasn't effective for you.
Yeah. They'll be like, but I do know it was X amount of weight. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where do you have the show for that?
I know. I love when people like do the leg press and they'll put all these plates on and all that. And they go down maybe an inch and then they go up an inch. And then all their friends are like, yeah, look at you. You got all that weight. Yeah, yeah. And they're clapping. And you look at them like, what are you talking about? They didn't even go down an inch or two. But because they have all the weight on there, that must be good and it must be working. And we know that's not right. But there's so many people with that mindset. They think more weight, no full range of motion works. I think it's just like an ego thing or something.
It is, especially with the boys. I see it all the time. I'm always I'm like, boys. Yes, at least the girls, sometimes they want to add more weight, but I think they usually don't want to hurt themselves and they really don't like looking stupid in the gym. So they'll be like, no, I'm not even, we have to push those girls to lift a little heavier.
Well, it seems like we're smarter than the boys when it comes to that. Yeah.
That's why I think there's probably more female competitors in bodybuilders probably at this point.
I never really thought about it, to be honest.
At least with bikini, there's a lot of bikini girls. I don't know.
True, that is.
There might be more females at this point. I mean, there's more female divisions.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it, but there is. Yeah, so it might be true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Well, it was like so great having you on. Is there anything else that you wanted to end with that we didn't touch on with your future and bodybuilding here?
I really can't think of anything, but I'd love to be on again, maybe in like a month or so, because once I start prep, my mindset and everything's going to be so different, and I could share more of that with you. I'm just really excited about this journey of bodybuilding and the prep that I'm going to go through. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be inspiring for so many people out there.
I think so too.
So that's where I want to leave it off is leave it at is next time. Let's definitely talk about the journey in the middle of it as it's happening. Because right now I'm still in progress. Yeah, right.
Which is great to hear how you've been since I've heard from you last, with everything. And I think if we do this next month or whatever, I know the Indie Pros coming up. I'm trying to think of other female bodybuilding shows, but maybe we can kind of see what won and what you think about it or what you might see in the future.
That would be great because the Indie Pro is the next big one that's coming up. So that'd be great to talk about that and also about where I am in prep mode if I start prep by then.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, I love watching those shows. I'm so excited to see female bodybuilding and what they start rewarding and what's coming up this year. So I'm excited.
I am too. It's the combination of muscle and beauty together, and women, female bodybuilding. it just really touches my heart. And I always wanted to be part of that. For many years, I would watch it and go, oh man, it'd be so great to be at that point. And now to get there, I just got like goosebumps all over. Like when my new coach goes, I think you're going to look much better in bodybuilding. I was like, yes. And when he said it, I really trusted him because he has a good mind for that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just excited for it, and I'll be excited to share it with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know me, I'm a big fan. I love to hear this. I think it's exciting. And yeah, well, it's always a good time talking to you. I was like, I know this is going to go over an hour, so I don't even care.
Anytime I talk, it just seems to be that way. And I'll have a topic to talk about, and somehow it switches subjects and stuff because I just have so much all the time. It's, probably like when we talk next, well, I'll have my suit, kind of ready and my routine and have more of that going on. And I'm just like so excited. I'll be honest with you, last year, even though I went through all of it and I got to stage and all that, the tone was different because I was overcoming something and I couldn't enjoy it as much as I do now because my body's healed, my mind is healed, where it wasn't that way last year. So now I get to enjoy it at a different level, and I'm just so excited for that.
Yay, I'm so excited. Yeah, we'll get something set up for next month then, and I can't wait to see what happens. And thank you for coming on and everything. So
Thank you.
You are inspirational, so I appreciate you.
Thank you, Paige.
All right. Well, have a great night and good luck with everything at work, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.